To no one's surprise, Conor McGregor responded to Usman Nurmagomedov's failed drug test over the weekend in a series of now deleted tweets, and Fighting LTD did manage to get the tweets before they went away here. We'll start with the first one. He says, "I'm not one bit surprised upon hearing of another Nurmagomedov team testing positive for steroids, hypocrites of the highest order." And then he really goes in heavy here and starts talking about Khabib and his family, which you can read it on the screen. I'm not going to repeat it. I personally do not like trash talk when they're talking about people's families, so don't even want to acknowledge that there. But the topic of this video is Conor McGregor a hypocrite for doing this, because first and foremost, Usman Nurmagomedov's team came out and said Usman was prescribed medication for an illness he had, not an anabolic steroid. This is from his manager. He will rematch Primus and get back in the tournament. And Andy Foster's statement, like I mentioned in the first video I did on Usman's suspension, also mentioned that it was a prescription as well. I would like to know what was in that prescription that got him flagged. That is one area I would like to see come to light. But Conor McGregor saying that this was steroids is completely false. It's no different than people saying that Mayra Silva was taking steroids when she just failed to disclose medication for attention deficit disorder or hyper disorder. So that's not really the same thing as someone taking HGH or something like that. So Conor's a little off base. And let's be honest here, Conor's not in a place to talk. Conor has not fought since July of 2021. As you can see here, his loss against Dustin Poirier, where he broke his ankle. It's 2023 November right now. And if you look at this article from ESPN, which talks about everything you need to know regarding USADA and Conor McGregor was recently tested last Wednesday. So he was tested in October of 2023 and has not been tested since July. So you can, this is the thing, Conor McGregor, he's great at trash talking. He's great at building up a rivalry. And I have no problem with him going back and forth with Khabib's team, but he's wrong about this, in my opinion. You can't use this argument and say that Usman is on steroids when you yourself are under a similar investigation when you haven't been tested in a while. And for those fans who are going to come into the woodwork and say, well, why should Conor McGregor be tested? He's injured. Plenty of fighters get tested while they're on the sidelines. Chris Weidman has been tested a number of times while he was out significant time due to a really bad injury. All types of fighters. Yuri Prohaska's getting tested while he's recovering from his shoulder injury. Like, the list goes on and on. So why is Conor not getting tested? And why is USADA all of a sudden going away next year? I think those are all fair questions to answer. So like I said, Conor McGregor, you want to go make fun of Usman Nurmagomedov's team here, you could have done it in a better way here. You could have talked about how maybe he didn't finish Brent Primus in that fight, and Conor McGregor, feels like he probably would have finished Brent Primus. That's something where he'd have more leg to stand on here. But to say that he's taking steroids, I just think there's no proof with that. And here's the problem with this too, of what McGregor's saying. You're now going to have moronic fans use this as a narrative going forward and use it against Khabib and his team and say they're all on steroids. You had Bobby Green making these statements, and there's been no proof of that whatsoever of Nurmagomedov's team using any sort of steroids or any sort of performance enhancing drugs. And you're just going to get these moronic fans going on it. And then in turn, you're going to see the Dagestani fan base say this is a majority of fans. That's not the majority of fans. It's a small minority of fans who believe every word that Conor McGregor says, including he's coming back in December and all these different things that didn't end up happening. Those are the fans that are going to buy into this. It's the same people who buy into Islam was using an IV against Volkanovski despite no proof. I have a problem with that. Listen, I will call things out on both sides of the equation. On this side of the coin, I don't agree with Conor McGregor here. There's a lot of things you could criticize. Like I said, the Nurmagomedov team for whatever you want, but this is one where I don't think Conor has a leg to stand on. And like I said, if you look at Conor even recently in certain photos, he's looking a little bit swole, as they say. If you look at Conor McGregor recently on Google, he's looking a little big here. Again, he has not been proven guilty of anything, but you're not getting tested by USADA. USADA's leaving. You haven't been tested since October of this year. I mean, is he really one to talk? That's all I'm saying here. So, I think Conor McGregor a little bit off base here. I hope we see Conor fight next year. That would be great. Hopefully, I personally don't think Usman should have to rematch Primus. Just whatever, fine him, do that. But I think Usman's still going to be Primus again. I don't think, if he took a prescription, then I don't think the fight should even be turned to a no contest. I just think it should be, if you want to turn it to a no contest, that's fine. But just have Usman continue on in the tournament. The prescription is not the reason he beat Brent Primus. He beat Brent Primus because he's the better fighter. That's just my personal opinion there. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. What was your reaction to Conor McGregor's tweets? What did you think of this whole thing? Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, @LynchOnSports. I'm James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.